Hey guys, welcome to the Homestead. So today we're going to walk out to my garden. I'm going to show you something. I woke up this morning and I saw an article that was posted, and apparently the farmers that are using tractors in Europe, the bureaucrats and tyrants in Europe, have started using water cannons and rubber bullets to push back the farmers, and it's working. They are using rubber bullets and water cannons. And the farmers are starting to fall back. And the reason they're falling back is because tractors don't work. It was never going to work. I said that from the very beginning. I told people on my channel and on Twitter. If you're not following me on Twitter, you need to. But I've been telling people tractors won't work. They never work. It's not... Take the tractors away from the farmers and give them rifles, and all of a sudden, like magic, it'll be this amazing transformation. The bureaucrats and the bullies and the tyrants that exist in Europe and lord themselves over people will amazingly begin to be nicer, and things will change. Because when you put the fear of God into bureaucratic bullies and tyrants, they become nice again. They start to mend their evil ways. And tractors, I'm sorry, are just not going to get the job done. Throwing poop on government buildings, I'm sorry, is just not going to get the job done. What they want is complete and total control over the food supply, because that's how they control you. Now, you probably, like me, have witnessed some of these issues that are going on in Texas, where egg farms are just somehow magically erupting into flames. Again, further corruption and control over our food supply. So you out there listening to me, within the sound of my voice, need to start producing things on your own. Learning how to produce food, learning how to grow food, learning how to raise animals. And we've been doing this for years on our homestead. You can go back to our channel and watch all the videos on how we do these things. Some things work, some things don't. You learn by trying through experience, successes, and failure. And today, let me show you what we're doing with our fig trees. Now, about a year ago, I did some videos on our fig trees and how we basically split these fig trees up and then propagated them. There's a lot of videos on YouTube where you can take cuttings of fig trees and then root those, but that's the slow way of doing it. I did this last year, or the method that I'm going to show you, and within that same year, I had fruit on the new fig trees. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So this right here is my main fig tree. It sits outside of my garden area, and just down here, it's like this mound. And all this giant mound is our aged humanure. And so we save all of our humanure, okay, and we let it age for a year. And then after we do that, we take that humanure out of the bin that's been aged for a year, and we put it on different things like landscaping and fruit trees and things like that. I don't use it on my garden, even though I wouldn't feel bad if I did. But we use it on different landscaping projects, and that includes our fig trees. And by mounding it up really high, if you can see, it's mounded up into this fig tree. We just pour it on top of there and let it work its way down. What you're going to do is you're going to get this fig tree down here. If you dig down enough, it's going to send out little roots. I bet I could even show you some. It's a nice day today. If you dig down there far enough, you're going to see different roots coming out of here in the springtime. Maybe not right now, but it will. And what you're going to do is you're going to get a giant oversized root ball. Okay, a giant oversized root ball. And from that root ball, you come out here in the summer, late summer, midsummer, and get in here with an axe. And you just start hacking it at the side of that root ball from different directions. And then you cut off a piece of that root ball, and then you pull that out, and you plant it in a different spot. And that root ball will then begin to expand. It's like there's some stuff coming off there. Maybe some starts of some roots right there. Anyway, and you're going to have another tree. So we did that last year, and that same year we did it, we had figs. See, these are dried figs right there. Learned that they never got too mature. But we had figs the very same year we planted this. It didn't have figs on it when we planted it, but because we took that root ball, it went ahead and produced figs for that year, because this tree is not a new tree, it's an old tree. And so that's what I recommend. Now we've mounted this up too. And so this is going to produce an oversized root ball. I mean, and within a couple, I won't chop on it this year or next year, but within a few years, this will be big enough to chop on, and then I can propagate it further. I can propagate it further on the property, or maybe share it with my neighbors and friends. You know, give them some cuttings. They're already rooted and ready to go. And that way you're going to get a far more advanced fig tree that's going to produce fruit far sooner than otherwise using a cutting wood off of a fig tree. I hope that makes sense. And then over here, here's another one. I've got all of our tomato cages stacked up next to these things, but here's another one mounded up that we spread out over the year. And then I have one more over here too. It's kind of covered up with fig trees. You can see that, and that's kind of a younger one, small one, but there's some stalks coming up out of there. But anyway, I've got all my tomato cages stacked up here because I keep them there in the off season until I need them again. But that's how you do it. Get your fig tree started, get it established, let it go absolutely crazy, and each year you're mounding it up with mulch. You can use mulch. I use our human manure, and it's going to get giant, and that root ball is going to get giant. And the bigger that root ball is, the more easily you can propagate that plant or that tree all throughout your homestead. Now you're going to say, Zach, how'd you learn this trick? Actually, years ago, there was a video on our channel here where I interviewed a master gardener in a nearby town where I live, and he showed me this trick, and that's how I got this to begin with. He showed me this trick. He went right there, we chopped up a root ball, a piece of the root ball off of one of his fig trees, and we brought it to the homestead, and boom, now we have fig trees. And so I'm doing the exact same thing he taught me to do from this master gardener. So I learned a lot, and that video is way back in all kinds of great stuff. He has since retired and he's moved away. I think there was some health problems in the family, but very amazing guy, and he gave me a lot of knowledge that I still use today. Hey, check out our merchandise over at teespring.com. You can find our best-selling shirt, Stupid Should Hurt. If we had more hurt in this world, we'd have an awful lot less bullying bureaucrats shooting rubber bullets at farmers. And also, check us out over at Patreon. Lately on Patreon, we have been talking about tinctures and radio communications and things like that, and how you would use these things. And so go over to patreon.com/AnAmericanHomestead, link in the description below. And also, if you join our Patreon, I will give you, just for $1 a month, $1 in the door, these PDF booklets that are $800 on Amazon if you bought one, and $900 on Amazon if you bought the other. And the reason they're so valuable is because of the information contained within. I highly recommend getting these books on and it's not really how to make tinctures, it's what to do with the tinctures once you have them. Great books. And a lot of our patrons have really appreciated me sending those out to people. So, all right, what do you think? What do you think about all this stuff going on over there in Europe? Should we take the tractors away? I think we should take the tractors away from the farmers and say, here, farmers, try this. Try this Mossberg, or try this Remington, or try this, oh, I don't know, Bushmaster. And see if you don't get a different result with the effort you're trying to put into this movement. I'd love to hear your thoughts below. See you next time in the Homestead. Bye!
Have you ever gone to a health food store and seen all those small bottles of probiotics in your cooler section? Man, can they be pricey. Are you really getting all you need to improve your gut health from those expensive bottles? How viable are they? Most of those products claim to give you between 8 and 15 strains of gut-healthy healing bacteria. Think of each strain of bacteria as a different factory in your gut. Each factory is responsible for breaking down that food in its own way. The more factories you have, the more the food is broken down and the easier the food is absorbed and digested by the body. A 2018 study published by the National Library of Medicine shows that one fermented head of cabbage can produce up to 114 strains of beneficial bacteria. That's a lot more food factories than you're getting from that expensive pill bottle. And that's just cabbage. Imagine the probiotics when you add garlic, onions, pepper, and more to that ferment. PerfectPickler.com and its home fermentation kits provide you with everything you need to get started making your own gut-healthy food factories from the comfort of your own kitchen. PerfectPickler.com even provides a jam-packed recipe book with many of our kits. Visit perfectpickler.com and start fermenting your own veggies to begin your journey to better gut health. That's perfectpickler.com.
Hey guys, did you know you can become a patron of an American Homestead? They get access to private videos, and we send them gifts from the homestead that we make here on the homestead. And we also enter our patrons into special giveaways that are only available to them. And before you go, please check out these other great videos. Go ahead, click. I'll wait.